clip every week. לעלוי נשמת, my father, עליו השלום, חכם אליהו, khalifa כהן בן שפיע, רוח אדוני תנחנו בגן עדן, אמן כן יהי רצון. Every day we say Yud Gimal Midot. Amonai, Amonai, ki racham v'hanun, Rachamim, chesed ve'emet. And the Sefarim tells us how powerful to say it, and how it could help us tremendously from all different kind of problems. And the Sefarim writes, it's not enough just to say it. We have to follow what it says inside. Like for example, it says, "V'rab chesed ve'emet." Hashem is so kind. So, Ma'u ba'al chesed, afata ba'al chesed. We have to copy the midot of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the greatest chesed a person could do for another Jew is to bring him closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's a certain story, there was a certain writer that he used to write his letters and stuff like that. And he used to go to different places to see where he's able to sit quietly and write his letters. So one day he goes to the library, Brooklyn Library, and he sits down, he writes his notes and his reports, whatever he has to write, and he brought his lunch with him. And he ate his lunch, and this guy was a religious Jew. So after he ate his lunch, he had bread, he washed, and he made a musi. He said Birchat Hamazon loud. And there was a certain woman which was walking over there next to him. She used to fix the books in the library. And she heard him saying in the Birchat Hamazon, Lo nibosh v'lo nikalim v'lo nikashel la'olam va'ed. She heard him saying, Lo nikashel la'olam va'ed, that we should not stumble forever. So she waited until he finished. After he finished, she told the man, excuse me, sir, I'm a Jew like you, and I was wondering this nosach, this text, they said, Lo nikashel la'olam va'ed, we shouldn't stumble forever. I never heard this in Birchat Hamazon. Where did he find this text? So the guy tells her, listen, I tell you the truth, I'm not sure myself, but that's the text that my father used to say in Birchat Hamazon. So I followed whatever my father did. She tells him, do me a favor, please. If you could search it for me, find which Siddur, which Nosach does it have it. Here's my address. Send it to me, please. He said, okay, no problem. So the guy goes on his way, and he searches from one Siddur to another to check, to see if which Siddur has this Nosach, this text. Until he came to a certain point, he says, it's taking too much time. I should have just told her, I don't know, I can't find it. But he said to himself, once I told him I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. He continued searching until he found out one of the Siddurim said, Lo nikashel la'olam va'ed. He makes a circle and he sends it to her. Couple months later, this Jew, he receives an invitation in the mail. He opens up the invitation, a wedding invitation. He sees the Hatan's name. He does not recognize. He sees the Kala's name, he does not recognize. He says, you know what, I'm going to go anyway, check it out. The day had arrived, and he goes to the wedding. He sees the crowd. It's a different crowd. He doesn't know anybody. He looks at the hatan. He does not know the hatan, or either the kala. But he said, listen, I'm here anyway, so let me enjoy it while I am at it, as I say. So he ate and he enjoyed himself. He says, okay, let me pick myself up and leave. Until all of a sudden, one person taps him on his back. He says, excuse me, do you know that the kala is calling you? She wants to speak to you. He says, yeah, I don't even recognize her. Until they're talking back and forth, the kala came to him. And the guy says, oh, Mazel Tov, Mabruk, we're so happy for you. And B'Shah Tova, and the whole thing. And she tells him, do you recognize me? He says, no, I don't recognize you. She says, do you remember a couple months ago, you were in the library, and you were saying the Nosach and the Bechat Hamazon, Nunit Kashin Olam Va'ed, and I told you to send me a copy of it. He says, yeah, I remember. He says, you don't know, this saved my life. He tells her, what do you mean? She tells him, because at that point, I wasn't so religious. I didn't keep Shabbat, I didn't keep the Torah and Mitzvot. Until I had a boyfriend in Arab, a Goy. And we became friends, we became close. Until came a certain point, he tells me, will you marry me? She tells him, listen, I need to think, give me some time. And the time had came. That day I wasn't sure what to do. I received your mail that says, Lo nikashel lo'olam va'ed. We shouldn't stumble forever. And I said to myself, this is the worst stumbling in my life.